happy Thursday, wherever you are in the world. I feel like I'm gonna pretend that this pen is a baton that Emily and friends in studio are passing over to Izzy and me. Thank you so much for the baton pass. And Izzy, happy Thursday to you. What a wild week you've had. And I'm just happy to see you at home, can I just say?
Oh yeah. Should we say like what happened to everyone?
You can say in a few sentences because it was wild, my friend.
Okay. So I was actually in LA last week on an Adobe engagement and my passport got stolen. So I had to extend my stay, get a temporary passport at the consulate. Fun times. But I'm here. We have a project for all of you and it's going to be awesome.
You know what I love this week? I love our client this week who's going to really, in an interesting way, describe the project that we're going to tackle today. Should we throw to the video with our special guest?
Let's do it. Oh, hi everyone. Oh my goodness. It is such an honor to be on Ask a Designer. It is my absolute favorite show of Adobe Live and possibly the whole YouTube universe as well. I'm sure you get it because it's your favorite show too, right? I knew you would. And I have to say that I am a massive fan of Phil and Izzy. I feel like I've known them forever and they're my friend. Like I hang out with them all the time. All right, all kidding aside, everyone. Yes, today we will be bringing myself as the client because sometimes it's important to treat your own project as if you were a client, specifically when it's a personal project. And today, what I would like to show you is how to create a remixable template to then share to whoever you want. The possibilities are endless. And what I would like to do today, working on, like I said, a personal project, is working on the Ottawa Design Club zine launch visual. I'm sure you've all seen those visuals where it's a big conference and people are saying, I'm attending, name of the conference, and they add their photos to it and they share that on social media to create momentum. That's exactly what I would like to do with today's visual. And I can't wait to see what Phil and Izzy will do. And back to you guys, let's get designing.
Izzy, you silly goose. I love it. You're so creative. You're
Okay,
cracking
everyone.
yourself up. That's what this is. You are laughing at your own joke. Look at you.
It happens all the time. It's part of the brand.
I
So
love it.
should we go to my screen and I can maybe talk to you a little bit about the Ottawa Design Club? I mean, if you're new here, this is definitely new to you, but if you are a longtime fan, you've definitely heard me talk about the Ottawa Design Club. So the Ottawa Design Club is a community speaker event series that I run voluntarily for my city. We have events like these, and here is the co-founder, Ariane. I will be mentioning her name a lot today because she's simply the most amazing person in the world, next to you, Phil, of course.
Oh, stop it. This isn't about me. This is all you, honey. Look at this beautiful design. I know I always say this, but I love this brand. And also, I think it's just cool what you've done. I mean, it's a volunteer position, but I know that this is so close to your heart. And I think also just what we're exploring today is really inspirational for any creative that is trying to not just be a slave to their 9 to 5, right? But also be able to execute on their creative pursuits. And I feel like that's what you've done here.
That's absolutely it. So it's like I wanted to create myself, I mean, create the experience that I did not get in my 9 to 5 and that I could do during my freelancing time, and also a way for me to get known by the local community. And so not only do we have the speaker event series, but we also have a zine, a printed zine, which is definitely a book. You can see here all of those sixth edition. It started out as we had two per year during the pandemic, but when we went back in person, we decided to only do one per year because they take a lot of real estate and time. Last year, we had our first exhibition launch, which for the Renaissance zine, and we welcomed 200 people in an art gallery. This is a photo of that. We literally were like in the club where we couldn't move, like kind of trying to walk around to get a glass of wine or something. And next week, we are literally launching Zine 7. And I can't believe that we're
Wow.
already at Zine 7. And if you recall, Phil, we actually did some design back in the collab battle about the call
We
for
did
submission for building bridges. I mean,
earlier this
that
year.
earlier this year. So that's how long it took for us to put everything in place. And we can see some behind the scenes here. These are photos of Ariane, myself. We were in Toronto at a conference, but after the conference, we were designing, making those changes, making sure the printer were like all the proofs were perfect, because as we are representing artists, colors, and just making sure all the photos are like at the same level as the artwork is very
As the work.
important. So
Yeah.
yes, exactly. So here are some behind the scene. Like, I don't even show this to the Ottawa Design Club. This is exclusive content. And
Exclusive content here on Adobe Live, friends. You're in on a little secret. Love it.
I was so much hoping you would do something like that for that exactly.
Well, you can count on me for
um,
the sound effects and the enthusiasm.
absolutely. So something I want to like bring your attention to, because it is a kind of a coup de cœur, if you want, for me is that we added some gradient going from the spine. So here we're seeing the book. It's not binded yet, but when we're going to flip the book, when it's all binded, I think the gradient will have just a really cool effect, and I can't wait to see it done. Like, I have not seen the zine done yet. It's still at the printer. It's the
Wow.
glue is drying. So here are some of the social media that we have done to advertise the event, because we're going bigger and bolder this year. We actually have an exhibition space that has 3 exhibition rooms instead of one. So definitely going bold for this one. And we're literally crossing the bridge in Gatineau. Ottawa is kind of like positioned in a weird space where it's Ontario, but then Quebec. But if you just cross the bridge, there's like a different community there. So we're trying to
Yeah.
literally bridge the gap between the two artistic communities to embody the theme of building bridges. These are some of the artworks that we will be featuring. Those were done by the community themselves earlier this year at another event. So everyone got to put their touch on these, which is awesome. So
Amazing.
I'm just gonna go quickly because I could talk about this for a very long time. I need to be invited to a spotlight, Adobe. Okay, I'm just gonna put that there. But today, what I want to do is create some momentum and just some excitement for people that are attending. Not only the people that are participating, but people that are attending. Because we're a community, I think it's important to show our true colors and build this campaign, if you want, that just shows that we're all in this together and that we're connected. So, as I mentioned earlier, we were at a design conference. It's called Design Thinkers. And they shared those visuals for us to add our picture to promote that we were going to the conference. And I was thinking, like, why can't we do this for the Ottawa Design Club? And it would be very easy to do this in the format of a remixable template in Adobe Express.
Love it.
So can you talk about can you talk about a
Yeah.
scenario where you use
Oh,
Adobe Express for the remixable
abs
template?
absolutely. What I also want to just call attention to is something that I don't even know if you realize how smart it is, what you just did. But rather than immediately going, okay, I've got this event, I've got this community oriented, it could be a workshop, a conference, an event, a gallery showing. Izzy, you went, I need to do more than just promote this and broadcast this, but how do we actually create something that entices community, the people on the inside, to show and be proud of their own participation? And my friends,
Mhm.
that is how we have to think about community. In fact, we have Ted in the chat, and I have to call
Yay.
him out. He did such a beautiful job with this, celebrating our Adobe Live is we're just like a little family. So I see Ted in the chat, and Ted had the most incredible exhibit with his work, sculptures inspired by his designs that he often shares on Instagram. Follow him. But Ted actually had I wasn't there, but I felt like I was there because he created a series of activations that not just he posted, but people that were there present. And Izzy, this is such an amazing way. A remixable template is a perfect idea because we create it. So we create the concept in the guardrails, and then we pass it to our community and we say, here's a starting place, remix it, make it your own. And really, Adobe Express, it's very unique in that it gives you everything you need to be able to say, here's the starting point. You've got a brand, you've got a library, you've got photos, you've got, fonts, colors, everything that you can access. But now you've got the space to take this and make it your own. And I think that's what we're going to do today.
That's exactly what we are going to do today. And we want people to show their true colors and add their personalities, as you said, because if we were all the same, first of all, it would not be a community. So we are encouraging people to make it their own, break it even if they want, because the fact that it's a remixable template, the design that we create will always stay intact. But then whatever the other one creates on the other end can be as flamboyant as they want, as crazy
Yeah.
as they want, which is the beauty of a remixable template. So, actually, if you want to follow along the journey, the link of this very remixable template is in the description of this very live. So, we will be updating as we go. Because that's another thing. You can keep adding to that remixable template and it will just keep updating. And then people will get
Yes.
new content every time. This blows my
I
mind.
know.
Every like,
And it also, what's cool about that, and I should just call this out, this is a bit technical, but the link itself doesn't change.
mhm.
So, what I often do is I take the Express generated URL and I'll shorten it to something that I can remember. You can use a service like Bitly. I actually met one of the reps from Bitly at Max this year, and he was very, very kind.
Mm,
I love Bitly. I even connect a custom shortened domain to my Bitly account, which is philp.al.
this is
And then I
awesome.
can customize the back half. So, for example, I have a remixable template called philp.al/kit/try express. These are all things that I can remember off the top of my head. And Izzy, this is an instance where you can shorten or you can, create a shortened link from your remixable template. The link will not change. You just have to make sure, friends, if you make updates to your Express project, make sure you push those updates, like publish those updates, which you can do by clicking the share button. We'll point this out in the hour.
Absolutely. So, one thing that I want to also show you is that I will be going back and forth from Illustrator to Adobe Express because we
Love
can
it.
now copy paste from like any software, right? If I recall correctly, Phil?
Yeah, as long as it's like an image or it's text, obviously the format needs to be conducive for the types of things that you can work with in Express. But I've copied and pasted over from Photoshop, from Illustrator, and it typically works like a charm. So you're going to try it today.
That's amazing. So right now I'm just adding this to the library because that's another thing. I've created a brand kit for this, which you can watch our previous Ask a Designer where we did create the brand kit. But I'm creating it here from Illustrator. So I just click and drag everything and then it's going to appear over there. I want to bring your attention to something really cool that happened by accident. So if
Don't
you
we
look
love
at
that?
this,
The
I
best design
mean,
decisions are things you wish you did on purpose, then you do it, and you're like, that was a mistake, but actually that's
that
kind of
I
good.
love it. Exactly. So when we were playing around with patterns, we have realized that if we took two sevens side by side, it actually creates a bridge. And that has become like the idea to like well, the patterns and even the die cut that we have for the cover of the next zine. So we can see this here. And this is an element that we will definitely be using today. So you can see the fun patterns here. You can't see it as much, I find, in the pattern, but when it's by itself, it's like that's the only thing that you can see. All right, so that being said, let's hop back into Adobe Express. So we have this white canvas here, and I'm going to resize it just to make sure that it's the right size because I don't remember to an Instagram story. We'll start with that because I find it's always the easiest. I guess it was already the right size.
Yes,
And
but actually, you did something smart there. Friends, if you're ever like, wait, what is the perfect size for an Instagram story? I don't expect you to remember 1920 by 1080. What's the perfect size for a YouTube thumbnail? I don't know that one off by heart because I know that I can hop into Express, click resize, and actually see the pixel size. And unique in Express compared to other popular browser-based graphic design tools, your projects in Express can have multiple sizes for pages, is what we call it in Express. So you can keep all of those designs organized in one project, regardless of the size, which I love, 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 love.
Yes, and it makes it so easy to stay organized as well. Like if you've seen my artboards in Illustrator, I wish it was as organized as my files like in
That's
Adobe
okay. That
Express.
is relatable, Izzy. I want to say hi to Josie, who just joined us in the chat. I already said hi to Ted. We've got Robert, Becca. Hey, Becca. We've got Keys. We've got Wade, obviously. We've got so many great people hanging out with us today. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Umacorn, you're here too. Gosh, I love it.
Okay.
You
So
lined that
here
up
I'm,
very well while I was giving our chat shout outs. Look at that beauty.
thank you. So just going with like a very simple background here. And what I want to do is add a shape. And I, like now I'm blanking. It's like we've missed
It's okay. We
last
take
week.
we take 1 week off, Izzy, and then we're like, what do we do? Yep, you're in
What
the
do we
right
do?
place. Scroll.
Like, how
Yep.
do we do
Bing.
this again? Oh my
Bingo.
goodness. Yeah.
I always
Can
call
I?
this out when people are looking for design elements, click elements, but don't forget that you can scroll through all of the tabs there. So you've got things like shapes, icons, design elements. Like you've got so many options, places to go for creativity. Also, can I also say, Izzy, I don't know if this is the same for you. I'll come over here when I have something in mind that I'm looking for, but I'll also go to elements when I don't have an idea of what I'm looking for. And
Mhm.
that's a starting point. And I find a lot of times I can just pull from elements, from media to get ideas for my design.
That is a great idea. You do this often too with some templates that already exist as a starter point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like templates, even if you're wanting to create your own template, it's not a bad idea to pull up the templates. I sometimes do it in a second browser tab because some of the templates are really well designed and they'll give you inspiration for layouts. I do this for presentations, Instagram stories. A lot of times you can go, oh gosh, I like the way that that's laid out, and you can be strongly inspired by that for your own design.
I think too for me, like going into templates too is seeing how it's set up. You mentioned that. And specifically because I find that Adobe Express is so accessible to everyone. So whenever
Hmm.
I'm making a template for a client or someone that I know is not design in tuned, if you want, it's a good idea to see how it's set up so then I can mimic the setup for them. So it's easier for them to use afterwards.
Yeah, good call out.
Okay, so I was looking in shapes, but honestly, what I wanted to do is go into media and I just cropped the images in a circle like so. And what I want to do is have a photo of the person. I'll put that a little smaller, but then have a bigger photo of the artwork because it could be what they're working on at the moment. What I'm going to do now is select the background, group them, and then lock it just because I don't want anyone to like just mess it up while they are trying to change the image maybe on their phone or on the desktop.
Hmm.
And then what I want to do is add text. Let me do this here. And I will say, I'm attending building bridges.
This is reminding me of the amazing templates that were published around Max time. I used a few of those to post
Mhm.
that I was going to Adobe Max. Friends, we're talking a lot today about remixable templates. Let me know in the chat if you guys, and it's okay to be honest, if you haven't, let us know if you've used remixable templates. There Izzy goes with the vertical text. Classic Izzy. Hello. Um, have you used remixable templates before? I use them. Obviously, we use them on the show, but I use them whenever I want people to have a starting point. Hey, attending an event. Hey, I'm attending this event. I'm attending building bridges. I'm attending Adobe Max. That's a great example of a remixable template.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here I'm finding that there's not enough contrast with the text and it was too much with that pattern. So I'm just going to switch that around. I have more gradients. So gradients is something that, to my knowledge, we can't do yet in Express unless you go and go into the media and then find an image that is a gradient.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I wanted to make, yeah.
you'll find gradients in uh under elements, under backgrounds, and you can type gradients and see lots there. But in terms of actually controlling the gradients specifically, I don't believe we have that yet in Express. It's one of those things that, there's some of those things where you're like, I'll probably hop over to Illustrator for this, or I'll probably hop over to Photoshop for this. And that's one of them.
And that's totally okay. So here, because I could, like you said, just do that, but I wanted to make sure that it was branded to our event. So as I showed you earlier, I just clicked and dragged it into the library from Illustrator directly, and it just popped up in the brand kit over here. Okay, so what I want to do is add more text to this and write like the handle. So handle for their social. This is too much italic. So let's see if I have another font. Yes, Favori is another font of the Ottawa Design Club brand. I'm happy I've uploaded it before. Like
Looking good.
so.
I love how the blue and the orange is coming together. And it's like when you pull all those elements separately, but then they start to coexist together, it looks really good.
Oh, thank you. Actually, this is the color of our covers. And that was also a design decision to have the complementary colors for our covers.
Mm,
Because if you look at it from like the color wheel, they are opposites and you're literally crossing a bridge to bring them together. So, eh,
look at that.
philosophical. Yeah.
Very philosophical, but I love it. And it's kind of one of those things like I might not have realized that, but I love what it represents and it makes sense. Fits with the theme visually.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about our zines, and that's why I could talk about it for a very long time, is that a lot of design decisions are made with that type of thinking where we want, like, we try to have Easter eggs. We're kind of playing Taylor Swift, if you want, like with our design, where we're like dropping
Yes.
some hints about like what we do for the year. And like even at our events, we drop like hints, and our hardcore fans, they pick up on it and they check in with us like, is that the next thing? And we're like, yes, you've been very observant. But it's like, I'd say like 10 max that are picking up. So it's
That's
definitely,
really cool. You
it
kind
is
of
cool.
reward those like super fans or people
Exactly.
that are loyal to the brand or simply observant. Thought this was interesting. Joseph says, I'm definitely trying to transition to remixable templates for social posts instead of handcrafting everything in Photoshop. Yes, Joseph. Do you want to know something? I was recently tackling that this week. I'm on vacation technically in Italy. And one of my like vacation for me, Izzy, is like not working. It's being able to decide what I do with my time, which will include sometimes chipping away on my own projects. So, Joseph, I'm in the same boat as you. I had some templates that were over in Photoshop, and I thought, gosh, I know once I take the time to set up the first one, having that in Express is going to be so much easier. I have 90% of mine in Express already, but there were just those few that, setting them up with all the layers in Express will just take a little bit of time. But you'll be so grateful when you do because Express really is like the name designed for you to be able to create quickly. And I'm already grateful that I've got those templates set up. I think you will be as well. This is looking good.
Thank you. So again, we want to make sure that these template will foster connection probably at the event. So this here could be a text where it's like, come say hi or ask me about like something like that, like a prompt for people to add so they can engage either on social or in person. And it's definitely missing our logo. So if I go here in the brand kit, I did not put it up as a logo, but as an asset. Oh, maybe it was added in the logo. No, it has not. Okay, that's
It
okay
may
because,
have gone under assets by chance if you didn't designate it as a logo. That can sometimes happen.
and that's okay because we can just copy paste
A
it
little
from
copy
here.
and paste action.
There you go. Like so. That was so
Did you see
simple.
how easy that was?
It's scary how easy that was.
I love that. I love how easy that is. And so, Joseph, I hope you saw that as you're starting to build out these templates in Express, know that you can copy and paste elements. Probably not background elements, maybe. If it's lifted from the background, you probably could. Um, but yeah, that's one way to get that in there quickly.
All right, so I'm just locking those elements. And for this, I'm going to ungroup it, maybe give it a bit more room because we're going to lock it, but lock and allow a text replace.
I'm so impressed. Look at you using these advanced Express features, locking and allowing replacing. Izzy, you cannot be stopped. I love it.
I mean, I've been taught by the best here, so okay. I'm just going to move them because I want to make sure people have enough room for everything.
Can I actually show something really quickly? And I'm going to be annoying,
Absolutely.
and I'm going to tell you to click it since we're already shared on your screen. But if you select just that layer of come say hi,
Mm-hmm.
um, when we go to the lock and allow replace settings, I want to show something that's kind of hidden. So right there, edit, replace settings over on the left-hand side where you've selected. Yes, look at this. Friends, we probably haven't showcased this because it is a newer feature in Express, but since Izzy is such a genius and we're talking specifically about lock, allow, replace, check this out. We've got additional what they're called behaviors. So limit to text boxed or allow any length. When this feature was first launched, it was only limit to text box. Yes. So just in case you want to give people a little bit more flexibility on the size of that box, you'd select that second option. And what I also love is yes, we have alignment and we have size for the text box size. So just calling this out because it is kind of hidden there. Um, Unless you click it by accident or you know it's there, you might not know. Right there, right there. Thanks for showing that again. So
Wow.
yeah, I had to call that out because since you're locking and allowing, replacing, we had to show those additional settings.
That is amazing. So now that this is locked, I can't, can I? No, I can't copy it. So I need to unlock it. So I need to make sure that everything that I want
Yes.
is okay. That's okay. It's a few clicks. So
But it's kind of one of those like workflows that you get the hang of after a few times. Easy the number of times I do that, I'm like, oh, it's perfect. Lock it. Even lock, allow,
whoop.
replace, and then I go to copy the element. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's definitely one thing.
So here I'm just going to do what I do and do the same thing here and do a lock and allow text replace. Okay. Oh, actually, didn't want that low. I want it here. And just because my box is, I'll just do this here. Okay. So this is looking good as the first one, and I'm happy about it. So essentially what people would do here is replace the images so they can add their portrait or selfie, cute selfie, and even in the moment if they wanted. And like
Love
what
it.
they do as a creative endeavor. And just to show you how we can like publish quickly a remixable template, I'm going to go to share, make a template, and create a public template link. Because I have already created that link, it's showing me this link and I just do update but if not, it would be create new link,
Yes.
update link. And it's going
Good,
to
good
think.
call out.
Mm-hmm. It's thinking. So usually we do a little dance. There you go.
Yeah, we
I
do a
mean,
dance while it's
yeah.
thinking. And that singular action is he will update the link. So the link, by the way, doesn't change. You'll notice there that the hyperlink does not change. So even if you created a remixable template last week, knowing that you're going to update the design later, that's totally fine. You
Mm-hmm.
just have to make sure you do that. First time it says create link, every time thereafter it will say update link. Look at
Exactly,
that.
which is amazing. And now, everyone, you can have access to this template right now. And as you can see, you can click here, remix, and then go ahead and break that design, go crazy. And please
There,
tag me and the Ottawa Design Club because I want to see if you do use it.
yes. I mean, think about it. Anyone that creates these designs wants to be tagged, wants to know that their hard work is being used. But friends, from a social media standpoint, even tagging people positions you for amplification, right? When we
Mm-hmm.
think about why someone shares a post on social media, they look at it and they go, "Oh yeah, that's really cool," or "Oh, I couldn't say it better myself." Like, and then they amplify that to their audience. That's one of the fastest ways, or one of the best ways, to get in front of brand new eyeballs. There's some really good
Mm-hmm.
questions in the chat that I'm going to read out because it's related to
Yeah.
remixable templates. Is a good call, by the way, on going deeper on remixable templates today, because there's definitely some interest in this. Um, this is a comment from Jenny down the block. This is new to me. Very cool, Jenny. We're glad you love this. D Design says, does Adobe Express allow exporting to Illustrator or Photoshop formats? So D Design Creative, new friend, typically you'll find the flow going from Creative Pro tools, some of our pro tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Lightroom. We start there and that gets pushed to Express. It doesn't work in tandem, I guess you would say, or it doesn't work in the opposite direction. Although it is possible to download from Express in a variety of useful formats. If it's a image, JPEG or PNG, if it's a brochure or if it's a poster, let's say this was a poster, it's not. I think you're designing this, Izzy, with the intention of making it a digital asset, but we could
Mm-hmm.
exactly bingo, bango, bongo. We could resize it and turn this into a poster.
Mm-hmm.
And being that file format, when we go to click download, we're going to have the option of PDF. And in some instances, you're going to have the option of PDF print, PDF for email or web. It'll just depend on exactly what it is you're working on. So if it were me wanting to bring this back into InDesign or Illustrator, you'll just want to be conscious of that file format. But it's definitely more common to start in those tools and then bring it over to Express.
That was a great question.
It was a really, really good question. Yeah, we sometimes have that, what if I want to bring this back over? It's possible, but it's not quite, the tool isn't quite designed to hop back and forth between, like, for example, Illustrator and Express and then back to Illustrator. The idea is more like do the initial design, creative work in those tools, then bring it over to Express either for yourself to be able to create quickly, resize quickly, or hand off to your client for them to be able to control it. Yeah, this is looking good. What are we building?
So we are building a Instagram post, but instead of it being the square like of what is offered, I actually made it 1350 in the height instead. Because I mean, is it you that said that it's taking more real estate and it can help the algorithm?
People might jump to think, oh, well, I'll just make a square version of this. But just remember 1080 wide, try to create the maximum size of a Instagram feed post, which is 1350 tall. And that what it's exactly what it does is it takes up the maximum amount of screen space allowed on a feed. And that's just increases the likelihood that people spend more time or notice your post.
There you go. And what I did actually is I resized the story and that I was able to just add the height here. It was already the proper width, which was really easy. And I just rejigged the elements here. So I'm trying to zhuzh it up a little bit because I'm not sold yet about this here.
You're allowed to. This
Uh,
is the creative genius at work. Look at you using the
yeah,
align feature.
like I'm wondering if this should be centered, but I hate centered stuff, so
Yeah, you never do centered for the
no, I
record.
never. No. Or maybe, hmm, maybe we
Getting
don't
back to our,
have. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I'm just reading the comments.
Okay.
Reading the comments, people agreeing, still trying to figure out an efficient workflow. Yeah, I'm excited to see people start to dabble with Express and then go, actually, this would be really useful in my content workflow. Do you want to know something interesting? As I reflect on all the conversations I've had on the road this year with people that are using and implementing Express, and I know, Izzy, you've had the same
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to actually chat with people
Mm-hmm.
who are incorporating Express into their workflow. It's not a race, by the way. It's not a race. You don't need to have this done by tomorrow, but I've discovered that people typically will start with quick action. Quick action. You could be converting a file, type cropping an image, creating a QR code. These are all examples of quick action. So if you're not sure, gosh, what should I do in Express? One of the greatest things that you can do is on that homepage, click that purple plus sign and just explore what's available for quick actions. You may find yourself, I should say Express is not designed to replace
Mm-hmm.
Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, but it's meant to complement everything you're doing. And in some cases, I find that it's faster to do things, quick actions in Express. And that's a great, great way to start to dabble and learn what can be done here. The quote, trying to juice it up. I also like that quote.
Nice. That's
We're gonna
awesome.
that's gonna become a thing that we say routinely. Thanks for picking up on that, Keys.
So here, what I want to do, because that's another thing to consider whenever you're designing for like the portrait format for Instagram, is that on the grid, it will still be cropped as a square. So sometimes something that I do just to give me some guidelines is going in the element, adding a square, and just making sure it's touching both ends of the canvas, making sure that it's centered like so, just having the border. And I'm going to lock this. So this is telling me, okay, this is what people will see on the grid. See how it is cutting into the logo, and we don't want that because then it looks like a bad design. And let me tell you, if the Ottawa Design Club made bad design, we would lose our status as leaders in the community. So we
Yeah.
need to be scrappy and be smart about this.
And
So,
experimental and creative. I mean,
mhm,
that's what the
mhm.
whole kind of purpose is. And this excuse for you guys to get together and I don't know. I don't know, like we said earlier, like make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes we make are like the best ideas for your designs.
Yes, absolutely. So here, if we add the logo here, and then we can see that it's outside. So we still see it when people are scrolling, but it won't
Hmm.
be cut up like on the grid itself. And we could technically add something at the top here. So what can it be? Trying to think.
A single word? Let me try to help you out here. It would
Yeah,
be
or
useful.
maybe we have a slogan, bridging ideas, linking minds, and crafting connection. Maybe we could do bridging ideas as a slogan.
Love it because that fits the whole theme. Smarty
Hmm.
pants.
Yes, ChatGPT was definitely helping us for finding,
By the
finding.
way, can I call
Yes,
something out? I
please.
often show how Express can be used in tandem with tools like ChatGPT, which is being gradually integrated in the tool itself. But we also have a rewrite feature in Express, which we should try. I don't know that we've tried it yet. So, Izzy, you get it into place. And let's just for fun, since we have time, let's try the new rewrite feature. Don't quote me, but I believe this is powered by ChatGPT directly in Adobe Express.
Let's do it.
Look at this. And much like any of the AI power tools that we have in Express, a lot of them are Adobe Firefly. They'll give you style controls. So if you've used Generate Image, right, we have the ability to decide on the style, the texture, the type, content type. In this case, we can hit that rewrite feature, do it once more, Izzy, and I'll just talk it through.
Okay.
Um, if we hit that rewrite feature, you'll see here suggested edit. So we can rephrase, shorten, or lengthen. And we can also make it sound more inspirational, professional, personal, comical, casual, or academic. So a lot of times, what I love, like every single week, we're dropping new features in Express that keep us in the platform. We don't even have to go elsewhere. Look at you.
That is crazy.
It's really good.
And like, it's
It's
so
really
good.
good. Forging connections, weaving together thoughts. We haven't even we haven't even ventured into Translate today, is it? We haven't even
I
gone
know.
to the Translate features.
All right. So
Wait, it
let
says question
me,
from YouTube. How did she get the assets from Illustrator into Express? Thank you, Wade, first of all, for resurfacing. We, well, Izzy has done two things or two examples, or I guess two workflows. One is Scrappy, the good old copy and paste. Actually just copying the element from Illustrator. I've done it from Photoshop as well, and pasting that right into Express, which I'll add it on as a separate layer. Layers we know and love in all of our favorite Adobe apps and tools. Over on the right-hand side, we have layers in Express, just like we have in Photoshop and Illustrator. Second, we did earlier on in this show, is it used a combination of two features in Express, both brands. So brands are specific to Express. So this is where we set up a combination of, yes, colors, fonts, and then what we would call assets, which could be any kind of graphic element. It could be an icon. You can have SVG icons in there. You can also have templates. So if you've got those remixable templates we've been talking about all hour,
mm-hmm,
you can
mm-hmm.
save those into your brand and then actually share that brand with other people on your team. Now, the other thing, not brands, which are specific to Express, we also have libraries, and libraries span Creative Cloud apps. It's something you'll see in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and beyond. And I think, I don't know, Izzy, would you agree? I typically use libraries for like specific projects, a
Yeah.
specific campaign, right? All the assets you need. This is a great example, right? There's a linked asset. And just to call out one more thing, that linked asset, we know it's linked because we see that little link icon when selected up in the top left. We'll also say linked asset up in the top left of Express. But what's so cool about this is by using a linked asset, Izzy has control over the original design element over in Illustrator in this case, can make a change, and that change will be pushed through to these remixable templates that you've worked so hard to create. I just love that. I love, love, love linked assets in Express, one of my favorite features.
It's insane how powerful it is. Like every time I use it, either for a live or for clients, I'm always, for lack of a better word, flabbergasted
That's a good
by
word.
what it can do. It's crazy.
Well, there's so many new features, Izzy, and I'm glad for it
Mm-hmm.
because it keeps us employed, honey. We get to call them
Yes.
out. We create content out of reminding our friends here at Adobe Live on what these new features are and how you might be able to use them. But truly, I mean, it's wild when I think about Express back in the day. It was called Spark, if I'm really going to age myself.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
yes.
yes, I mean, it still had lots of great tools back then, but now it's really this tool is so powerful and incredible. And I love Izzy that we're talking about some of the features we don't get as that don't get as much airtime. Remixable
Mm-hmm.
templates is one of them. So it's looking good,
All right. So
looking
actually,
good,
it's
looking
gonna
good.
I'm trying to find like a way just to kind of frame that photo. I think I like that. Like so, and this was again very easy because I just duplicated the design here
Yes.
and just changed a few things like the background, which was in my library, just clicked and drag, and we got something like, again, quickly. And just for everyone to see how quickly the Remixable template updates, I'm going to share that and update the
Yes.
template for everyone to try.
There's that button, bottom right corner, update link. Since the link has already been created, that's what you have to do in the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you go back here, when you click that share button and make a template, you'll have the option to update that link, which will push those updates through on that existing URL. I'll say it again because it's important. If you've already created a URL for your remixable template, and maybe you've shortened it, maybe you've put it in a
Mm-hmm.
a YouTube video description or in an Instagram link or link in bio, that link stays the same. All you need to do in Express is push that update through to the latest version. By the way, you've got a cheerleader in the chat. You've got a handful of them, but
Oh, thank you guys.
Julio or Julio, I think it's Julio, says sick work. Izzy,
Thank
sick
you.
work. I agree. Joseph says introducing shared libraries with the art team at my job has cemented
Yes.
my wizard status here. Very grateful. Joseph, that is so cool. You deserve wizard status, my
Mm-hmm.
friend. And if you picked up any of those little tips along the way from us, I feel like that's what we do. That's like the whole purpose of what we do around here.
Yep.
Sharing ideas, showing you things you know, but also pointing out some things you might not know. That's
Mm-hmm.
like so fulfilling for us.
And speaking of wizardry here, as you can see, I'm on the link of the Remixable template, and you can see here page 1 of 1. I'm just going to refresh this as we have uploaded the new designs and see what it does. We have page 1 of 4, and then we can see all of the new designs that were added right here. So cool.
I love the hand motion. You need me for the sound effect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So fun. Okay, so we talked about a poster. Maybe I can do a quick poster in the like 3 minutes that we have.
Yeah, don't get
That
too ambitious in the 3 minutes
I
we have
mean,
left, but let's see what you can do, my friend.
like, let's
D
see.
Design says, cool templates, Izzy.
Oh, thank you. So if I go to resize here, so because it's a poster, I'm just going to change the unit measurement, and I'm going to go into inches, and I'm going to do an 11 by 17 just because it is kind of the regular poster size. And I'm going to make sure that it's not just resize because I am on a design that I want to keep. And I'm going to click duplicate and resize instead. And as you can see, it just added that canvas over here. And I mean, I feel like I don't have much to do here.
Don't we love that?
Like it's again, it's crazy. You said it was ambitious, but is it? Because
But
Adobe
is
Express is
it?
doing it. Is it? Yeah.
Exactly. Resize really does the heavy lifting for us there. If we
Exactly.
had an image that spanned either side to side and or top to bottom, it needs to be one of the two, selecting that generative expand, which we've been using in the last few weeks, is a
Mm-hmm.
good idea. So, friends, generative fill in Photoshop that I'm sure you've had a chance to experiment with, generative expand. We now have that power in Express. And so you're no longer limited or confined by the parameters or the size of, say, a stock photo or any kind of asset you're working with. Now we can actually lean into generative expand, that power in Express, which will use generative AI powered by Firefly to create like the sides if that image extends. In this case, not relevant, but I'm pointing it out because it's new. It was only launched at Max. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's something that is really, really exciting to try. I absolutely love it. It's an example of how, like, Izzy, generative AI is not replacing creatives,
Yep.
it's not replacing the humans. If anything, AI is reminding us how much we need humans
Mm-hmm.
still in the equation, still in design. But it's an instance where actually it complements our work, right? We're no longer
Mm-hmm.
constrained by, say, an image size when we can use generative AI to expand that and really, have that design we're after.
So here you go. I mean, I made a few tweaks and changed a little bit of it. But here, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that poster. Over here, I'm just trying to center it. Maybe I'll make sure that the text is bleeding on each side of the photo. Okay. Do you do this? I go close, I go back, I squint,
Yes,
like all the
absolutely.
time. And
Absolutely.
again, I'm going to not sorry, not download, but share and update that link so we can you can break the template right away. And that took me what, 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Like I can
Even
still make
I
yeah.
questioned what you could do in just a few minutes,
I
and you
mean,
did it. It looks
that's
great.
wizardry. It
That's
it
wizardry, exactly, like Joseph. So what I also love that you've done is during this whole hour is like you had a plan. Like I sometimes think of Adobe Live as like a cooking show. We'll bring
mm-hmm,
ideas to the table. We have to have something that guides us. But also we have the confidence in our own ability as design our own abilities as designers to like create in the time that we have. And it's my hope that everyone, whether you're comfortable in Express or you're just getting started, hop into here and give yourself some space, even if you've got 10, 15, 20 minutes to design, see what you can create because there's so many amazing resources in here that are designed to enhance you and enhance your design and really designed to just complement the whole process from brands to media to elements, shapes, which you can change color, but they're vector, right? So many cool
mm-hmm.
things baked into Express now where you're not even going to have to leave. You saw here, we rewrote text. Who knew? We could translate if we wanted to. Izzy was like, I'm going to make a poster because I'm crazy. And you did it in 2 minutes using
Yeah.
resize. Friends,
Mm-hmm.
you've seen remixable templates in action. Can you scroll in big to what you've created? Let's go through each page and have a look and just do like a little recap moment.
So recap.
We love a little recap moment, don't we? Yes, we do.
So we started with the story, and then we have those are very similar, but they have different headings right here or slogan if you want. We have
Yep.
another design here. Then we have a poster. I mean, I could make this version in blue very quickly right now.
You're
Let's
going to
do
do
it.
it in the 1 minute we have left because
Yeah,
you're
let's do it. Because
a
I'm
wild
crazy.
child. That's what
Yeah.
you are. I love this from C. Levy. They say, yes, I have a permanent hunchback from trying to get a close up. We can all relate to that. The like in, the out, is you've called that out a few times on the show. It makes me laugh every single time. Look at you
There you go.
designing in 1 minute. Again, we're using tools like Express and we're using power like generative AI powered by Firefly, not to replace the design. We're using this to complement our workflow. And we can still create beautiful designs
Mm-hmm.
in a fraction of the time. And I feel like this allows us, like instead of spending 6 hours editing flyaway hairs, we
Mm-hmm.
can lean into AI to do some of those more administrative type projects.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I, Izzy, get to spend more time upfront actually being creative, which I feel like
Yes.
is the whole point, is it? Look at you updating your remixable template link. I think is you called it out. We have a link to this in the description of this YouTube
Mm-hmm.
video.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love it.
Yes.
And so, friends, you've learned a lot about remixable templates. We've seen Izzy in action building this amazing zine launch for the Ottawa Design Club. Izzy, might I say, as we round it off our hour, best of luck with the
Oh my
publication of the
gosh.
zine. And also, I
Thank,
want a
thank you.
copy.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you're on the VIP list, Phil. So, but for everyone
I
who wants to copy, they will be
yes.
on our website, ottdesign.club on Shopify.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to design with you, although I didn't do much design today, Izzy. That was you, my friend. Chat, you've been just such a pleasure as you always are. And we'll be gone next week because it's Thanksgiving in the US, but we'll be
Mhm.
back the following week. And friends, thanks for sticking around with us today. It's been a fun day in studio and beyond here on Adobe Live and on Ask a Designer. We'll see you back not next
Yes.
week, but the week after. See you then.
Bye.